Okay, well, have you been hearing that there's like June 16th is going to be like New York Armageddon because if the Knicks go to game 5, I think it's game 5 or game 6. No, it would be
You're saying June 16th?
June 16th.
That would have to be game 5.
If whatever the game is for the New York Knicks would be that night.
At
and
MSG.
Then the first, in MSG, and then the first World Cup game that's being played at MetLife is being played that night.
Ooh.
So both like Long Island Railroad and New Jersey Transit like are supposed to be like they're calling it like going to be the Armageddon if this happens. Like it would be the perfect storm.
Yeah, I mean sometimes like I'm thinking about like SantaCon, like the Bridge and Tunnel group that comes in. They could be a little rowdy. Those little.
But I think you're knocking down 2 major transit, like Long Island Railroad and New Jersey Transit, like those, and those already don't work on a normal basis, like
you're gonna be packed.
Correctly.
You're gonna be packed.
Yeah. So
either everyone's gonna like kumbaya and love each other, or it will be debaucherous and chaotic.
Hi everyone, I'm Melanie.
And I'm Diana.
And we're 2 queens in a pod.
Yes, and we are 2 queens from Queens, giving you the Queen's perspective. And today we are bringing you to Aqueduct Racetrack.
The Big A.
The Big A. Mm-hmm. All right, so, Aqueduct Racetrack, I feel like...
It's your new favorite place.
This is my new favorite place.
And it only has a couple days left.
And I think that's why it's my new favorite place, because it's leaving. Yeah, there's like, I would say, today we're recording.
That you can't have.
It's the 28th. In a month, today, it will be closed. It will conduct its last races ever. And I don't know what's going to come after. I don't know what the plan is to come with it after.
We'll talk about it.
But we're going to get into what it is, okay? And so you can argue that the Aqueduct Racetrack... Sorry, I don't know, I can't speak today. You can argue that the Aqueduct Racetrack has 2 birthdays, not one. Mm-hmm. So there's the original opening, which was September 27th, 1894.
A long time ago.
Do you see why I'm getting so nostalgic here? This thing has survived since 1894 and it's leaving. And then there was the grand opening, which was in September 14th, 1959. And that was after they had a really big remodeling of it. So people kind of see it as 2 different racetracks in some ways. But we're going back to the first one. And the first one, which was in 1894, it was really sort of a utilitarian kind of place and design. Like, it was what it was. Like, it was being functional. So
it was very, simple.
Right. It emphasized function over form. Like, it wasn't trying to be beautiful. It was just trying to be a racetrack. And it wasn't thinking about being attractive or decorative. It was like, we're a racetrack, and this is what it is.
I should have done a little bit research on this, but because they were saying this was the boom of American racing, as far as horse racing is concerned, because obviously it was a big thing in Europe and in English culture. And I kind of want to know, why have we been racing horses? Who was the one that started that? I feel like it was chariot racing, right?
That's the Colosseum.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of probably where it started.
Why?
For fun, I don't know. One question I do have, though, is out of all the kind of sports or traditions that involve animals, why have we decided that this is not animal cruelty?
Oh, it is.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No, it is.
So, we've decided that, animals can't be in circuses.
Yeah.
We decided bullfighting is, not cool.
I'm sure PETA probably tried to shut it down.
Yeah. It doesn't seem anywhere close to that happening.
No.
I mean, I don't know. They don't seem sad.
I think it's a lot less popular than it was. I mean, people weren't lining up when we went.
True, but I mean, the Kentucky Derby is a coveted event. People still really kind of idolize that. And then they're redoing the Belmont over in Long Island, which kind of brings us back to the Aqueduct. So right now, I guess if we jump away from being chronological for a moment, they are hosting the Belmont Stakes right now because the Belmont Stakes Arena or whatever that's called is getting remodeled. So the Aqueduct is closing out their final season by kind of being the Belmont Stakes.
Right. I think to your point of horse racing not, getting shut down, I think anybody just wants to bet on anything,
Right. Yeah.
You know?
But I'm trying to think, like,
They're
do
more,
they
I think
seem
they're more
evil?
coveted.
It doesn't seem evil. Like, I didn't
I'm sure
see...
it is, though. Like, why can't the horses just be horses?
But then in
Like,
that...
I'm sure, like, horses aren't born and, like, in their consciousness is like, you know what? Like, I want to win the Belmont Stake. Like, I'm like the Secretariat, like,
but they do
right?
want to
That's
run.
That's
you
like
know
the
what I
best
mean?
horse in the world.
Secretary, yeah. I mean, we're really jumping around
no,
now.
No, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that horse is like famous horse, and it's like these horses don't have consciousness to like think that way, so we're forcing them to do it.
I know, but that's like any animal. Like any animal you put on a farm is evil. Like we're just forcing all these animals to do things.
No, the horses on the farm are fine because they're just living their life.
No, but they're stuck in a gate. They should be free wild horses running in the wilderness.
Oh, okay. Oh, like the horses of the Grand
Yes,
Canyon.
I don't know. So one time, Mel and I, like, what was it, 2 years ago at this point?
Yeah.
We went with her cousin, my sister, to the Grand Canyon, to Arizona in general, and we literally saw wild horses.
Wild horses. Yeah, look at how free they looked. Wasn't
it was
that
beautiful.
Magical?
So that's what you can argue. Like any sort of humans getting into the space of horses, like it seems evil. But then like people talk about like there's been this horse human dynamic since like a really long time where like they do kind of coexist, like sort of like a dog and man. So like should dogs be wild free? Like it gets very complicated.
Yeah, all right.
Regardless. So we're back to the original opening, 1894.
Okay, we're back.
The place is very functional, no glitz and glam. It's kind of boring. It's just a racetrack, okay? Also, even in its name, very basic. It wasn't named after anyone fancy.
It's just like the waterway that was in Brooklyn. They're like, oh, let's just name it after the Brooklyn Aqueduct.
Yeah, there was a Ridgewood Aqueduct, right? Mm-hmm. And it was
and that's
built
where
on
like New York City's drinking water was, or like it carried the water from Long Island into Brooklyn and New York City.
Yeah, and it was located in South Ozone Park, and Brooklyn Waterworks owned it, and they were like, we'll just name it after them.
I know, imagine you have like this famous place, but you don't know it's famous yet. And you're just like, what should we name it? And you like look around, you're like, oh, there's a pipe. Let's just name it Pipe.
Pipe Racetrack.
Good old Pipe Racetrack.
And then people want like a profound reasoning behind it. You're like, nah, it's just where it was. That's what we did. And so at the time, because of all of this, because of sort of bare bones energy, the future kind of looked a little dim for Aqueduct. Like people were kind of worried about like, would this place survive? Especially because New York was full of newly established racetrack. So talking about how this diminished in popularity, at this time there was the Gravesend Racetrack, the Sheepshead Bay Racetrack, and then apparently a very glamorous one in the Bronx called the Morris Park Racetrack. And then, of course, there's the one in upstate in Saratoga.
I think in there, the Saratoga one. I think you could arguably say Belmont Racetrack is more popular than Aqueduct. Like, I would, I would, or even like growing up, I like heard a lot of people go to Belmont. I never really heard people be like going to Aqueduct today, but Belmont was built 11 years after Aqueduct, so like Aqueduct is younger than Belmont actually.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So in that case, like a lot of these other racetracks that were just being built had bit more of a glamour to it. So people were like, oh man, is Aqueduct gonna make it? But they always seem to find a way. You heard about this guy in 1895, Captain William Carter.
So he changed the game for the Aqueduct.
He changed the game.
Yeah.
He gave it a little facelift, right? So he endowed
I don't know if he gave it a facelift, but like he like hosted a major race that brought people in.
Yeah, they're like, I guess we'll go. Yeah, exactly.
The facelift doesn't come until decades later.
You're right. It still was wrinkled and didn't look too good. It didn't get anything yet. But yeah, it endowed the racetrack with what do you call it? The Carter Handicap, and it actually still runs today. And the major race enabled the Jockey Club to begin drawing top horses, and it helped turn the barebones track into a respectable long-term racing attraction. Yeah,
so Captain William Carter actually put how you have these jockeys and these horses is when they win races, they win a ton of money. Like, because they're winning the... I don't it's called something like the pool, the stakes, something like that. Like so you're winning the money.
Right, because basically every horse has like multiple, it's almost like stocks. If you think of it in stocks, like people invest, like you could buy a portion or a stock of a horse. So whenever it wins, you get that money to an extent. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So the captain put up a bunch of money for this Carter handicap race that he wanted. And that's what drew in all of these like top race horses. And then everyone's like, oh, I want to go.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, so that was cool.
That is pretty cool. And so that kind of brings us to the second opening of the racetrack.
Well, did you hear that in one of the Carter handicap races, in one of like the most bizarre moments of race, like horse racing,
the tie
in 1944, at the Aqueduct, it ended with a 3-way tie, 3 horses. Basalt, Brownie, and Wait a Bit crossed the finish line at the exact same time, and it's considered one of the rarest finishes in horse racing history.
Complete unison.
But do you think you would know that now with like the technology that we have? Like, do you think that we would have seen the like nose? You know what I mean?
I think you have a really good point. I think now, you know, as time passed, you
like
have higher
AIs,
technology,
yeah.
and like even with like Olympic races, it's like down to like the 0.0000001
Yes.
second. So I do
like, what were they basing it off of? Like a picture? Like, you know how they like take the picture at the end? Like,
it could have
like,
been, yeah. But like it also made me wonder, like these horses. I wonder if these horses actually know if they're racing, right? It may have just been this beautiful moment where they're like, let's do this together. Like, just this animal, like,
we are
instinct.
again with the horse's consciousness.
Right. Yeah. Like, they were just like, let's do this together. But I do think that's pretty funny.
I don't think that happened.
No. But I think that's pretty funny. It's never happened since, either.
Uh-huh.
But the fact that it never happened before made me think that maybe it wasn't a technology thing. Like, maybe it truly was just, like, a perfect moment of unison and synchronicity.
Yeah. I mean, okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Could be. All right. So yeah, that was awesome. That was pretty cool. And then that brings us to the second opening. So the second inauguration is in 1959. A little over 40,000 fans, including the New York Governor Nelson Rockefeller, were there. They were just like showing the big A some love, and I think this is when it got its name.
Got the big A after the facelift.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
they had to like
after the $33 million reconstruction.
Yeah.
And that was back in the 50s. Who knows how much that is now?
That was with inflation and everything.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't know now because I don't think they've really done much to it since. It looks like they fixed it in 1960.
They fixed it a little later, yeah. That was
it looks like that's pretty much the last time it really got taken care of. But it was designed by a renowned track architect, can't say his last name, Arthur Frohlich. Mm-hmm. And associates of the Beverly Hills, California sector of some type. And what they did is they remodeled the track. It was state of the art for the day. It added 18 escalators. It added another 20,000 seats. They had some air conditioners, some lounges. And at the time, the Associated Press called it, quote, the world's most modern and luxurious horse plant. Imagine calling that place modern and luxurious.
No, I can't say that I agree with that.
Which is what made me so nostalgic. Like, okay, so I went to the Aqueduct twice. Mel went with me the second time. The first time, there was this upstairs area that was open to the public. Mm-hmm. When we went, it was closed. But, like, if you go up there and you see
feel
it,
like you're in luxury?
it's a bit more glamorous. Like, you can see the glam. You get it a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Where we were, it was very much like...
Yeah.
Kind of the nosebleeds to an extent. It's like the opposite as like a baseball field. I feel like in a baseball field, closer you are to the field, the better. But in a racetrack, I feel like the higher you up are, the better because you could really see.
Yeah, you could see. Oh, yeah.
You get a better vantage point. So I feel like the higher up kind of got that glamorous feeling. But it still felt like glamour of yesterday.
You forgot the one other thing that they added in the reconstruction.
What did
they added the subway line.
The A train, take the A train.
Well, they didn't add the A train. They added a stop on the A train for the Aqueduct. And I didn't know this because, one, I never took the train to the Aqueduct.
True.
But this is a very unique train station because, one, the terminal is only going one way, and that's towards Manhattan. So you cannot stop at this Aqueduct station if you're coming from Manhattan and going there. You have to get off of that one station and walk, or the shuttle, right? But they built this one, which is like directly in the Aqueduct for people who were leaving the track and going straight into Manhattan or Brooklyn. Like,
so
they did it
purposely
one way to get the crowd flow leaving as opposed to coming, because there's so many different races during the day, but some people will stay throughout the whole day and then all leave at the last race.
Do you know how they would get there though?
You can get there. You get like the same thing you just said. You get off at the one station and then you take the shuttle.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying there's two Aqueduct stations. One is the further away one.
That's closer to...
Yes, and that always runs. Like, that will always run.
Okay,
This
got it,
one
got it.
sometimes doesn't even run. It just, like, will run during race days or something like
Got
that.
it.
But that one station will not be open.
And it was like crowd control. It was
100%,
like,
yeah.
Interesting. All right.
But I also think that this is a good opportunity to tell the people. So in Mary Louis, every year they had spirit days, and every single class, so freshmen would verse the juniors and seniors, and I'm missing
every
one.
grade.
Freshman, sophomore. So the 4 grades would verse each other, and you would have a theme every year. So our junior year theme was different train stations, and our train station was the A train.
Yeah, so, different trains. Yeah, different train lines.
Different train lines.
Yeah.
And there was different things that we would do. So that, like, we would have to create a dance, we would have to create a step, and we would have to create a hallway that was all inspired by the A train.
Yeah.
I, without like really knowing, was a part of this one particular set of the wall in the hallway that did the aqueduct.
What?
So we created these paper mache horses that came out of the wall, and it was the aqueduct station.
Damn.
And I was like, I was thinking about it. I was like, oh my god, like I did this whole wall about the aqueduct, and
never went until now.
Never went until now. Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, I didn't have any. I guess I didn't connect it because I wasn't part of the art crew.
Well, me and our friend Sarah, one year, I don't think it was our junior year. I think it might have been our sophomore year, but
safari?
The safari, yeah, we did safari. We put our names in to be the captains of the art team. We didn't get it.
Damn.
We were not popular at the time because it was a popularity vote.
Yes,
you know?
it was.
And then anyone who got it freshman year, they were the captains for the entire 4 years
because
that we were in school. Because they were like, oh, like, let's just, like, have her do it. Like, she did it last year.
Yeah, and that happened definitely our freshman year with the dance crew, too. Like, once the two...
Dance and stuff. Yeah, they were always the captains for us.
Because I actually think we did really, really well our freshman year, so people were like...
We did well every year.
People were like, let's keep them...
We won, like, gold or whatever 2 years in a row.
Yeah, even when we weren't seniors. Yeah. So, like, yeah.
I get it. I get it. But, like, you know, let someone else try it.
I know.
We probably would have not done a good job. We would have fought the entire time, me and Sarah.
I applied, too, to be, like, the dance captain and never got it. But
yeah, we're just a bunch of losers.
What are you going to do?
But it was still fun. And I got to build the wall of the aqueduct, so
very cool.
It is what it is.
Look at that connection. Full circle moment. Circle moment. So that kind of brings us to the Wood Memorial Stakes. Did you get about this?
No.
So there was a racetrack in Jamaica, and it closed. And so there was this really big horse race, the Wood Memorial Stakes, that used to be annually there in Jamaica. But once they closed, it came over in 1925 to the Aqueduct. And I think something cool about the Wood Memorial Stakes is that it's like New York's premier preparation for the Triple Crown.
Okay.
So a lot of horses who are trying for the Triple Crown partake in the Wood Memorial Stakes. And there's actually like a handful of horses that won the Triple Crown as well as this race. So like if you want to call it the quadruple. So there's like an unofficial like quadruple crown win group that like won this race before the other three. And guess who's not in that? Secretariat is not in the unofficial quadruple crown.
Because I want to say this because I know people who are not known about horse racing like myself. If you wanted to know what the Triple Crown is, you have to win the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, is that Preakness? Preak.
I have it written down.
Stakes, and you have to win the Belmont Stakes. So when you win those Preakness, is that who that is?
Yeah.
Such a weird word.
Right. Yeah.
Once you win those three, and the Preakness, I can say one, is in Maryland.
Okay.
So you have to win those 3 races to become a Triple Crown winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so on that note, a lot of...
You have to win in the same year, right? It's kind of like, what's like...
It's like the U.S. Open.
What's the tennis one?
Yeah.
No, but what is it like when you win them all?
I don't know. I know you have to win like Wimbledon, the like Paris Open, and the U.S. Open.
That's going to kill me that I don't remember them.
My husband's going to be like, let's call this. Like, he's going to be like, why don't you...
Just like the mimic. That don't sound like that.
He does it, but you gotta change it up a little bit. I forget, what is that called? Okay, regardless. A lot of the horse racers, a lot of the horses that win the Triple Crown, they do start at the Wood Memorial, and 11 Wood Memorial winners have also won the Kentucky Derbies, but others have done the opposite.
Grand Slam.
There you go.
Okay, you're a Grand Slam winner if you win all the U.S. Opens.
There you go.
Okay.
Everyone who's listening is like, yeah, we knew
Opens.
that.
Yeah.
Just to focus it on the Wood Memorial Stakes, just because it is at the Aqueduct, 11 Wood Memorial winners, so 11 of those horses also won the Kentucky Derby, but others have done the opposite. So they've failed to win the Wood, but then they go on to win the Kentucky Derby. And the year that Secretariat won in 1973 actually only finished in third at the Wood Memorial and Aqueduct. But yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah. But then I think in 1973, I think we should focus on this. This was the year that Secretariat won the Triple Crown winner and was the first to win in 25 years.
Yes, he was the first one to win all three of the races that we're just talking about. Yeah.
But it was the same year that on November 6, 1973, Secretariat was retired at the Aqueduct. Like, it had its final retirement party at the Aqueduct Racetrack.
Okay, so
Is that what you got?
I saw a little bit mixed information about this because I did see that, and then I kept like looking into it, and I couldn't find anything that was like really stating that fact. But then I also said that it made its debut at Aqueduct.
Secretariat?
Yes, and it lost. But like I don't want to say that that's a complete fact because I only saw it in one place that said that.
Where did you?
And then I looked a bunch of other places and they said the last place that it race was like
the Kentucky Derby.
No, some other like random. So I don't know, but it did race like one of its first races at Aqueduct allegedly.
Interesting. Yeah.
And they have like a big mural of him. Is it a him? It's a guy, right?
I think Secretariat's a
male
boy. Yeah, it's a male horse. Yeah.
Male horse.
So yeah, if you walk
in the Aqueduct.
We'll show you a picture, but it's like the main mural, and that was actually that mural was painted and came in like maybe in the 80s. I have it somewhere where they like. Yeah, in the 1980s, I think.
I don't want to get too stuck on this one horse.
Oh, no, sorry. In 2014. No, we got to talk about this horse.
I know. Like, we do have to talk about him because I went on this rabbit hole of this horse.
Yeah.
And horse breeding is, like, so big. And, like, I didn't think about it until, like, I went down this rabbit hole. But you could say what you want about him, like, in a second. But, like, I went on this, like, really deep rabbit hole about, like, his sperm and how his sperm like created all these other winning horses, and it's just like so weird. And when they like autopsied his body, his heart was like 20 times the size of a regular horse.
Wow. It's like the opposite of the Grinch.
Yeah. No, it would be the Grinch because his heart grew 5 times.
Okay, yeah.
So the Grinch after he brought the
unstole Christmas. Yes. That's how big his heart was.
Yeah.
The Grinch after, not before. Yeah. So, okay, you got me there. Okay, but you want to know why, though? This guy, okay, obviously, I already said this. He won the Triple Crown in 73. But I think something I forgot to say is that he set the track records in each of the races. And those
they're still not beaten today, right?
Yes,
yeah, like he was just like a magnificent horse.
Those times still stand. Like, no one's beat Secretariat's times. And so, of course, all these, like horse rearers, what do you call them? Horse breeders? Are just like, breeders. Okay, if I'm
business.
Putting my stock in a horse, I want it to be related to Secretariat. And so Secretariat's genetic influence is immense. His bloodline shows up in nearly all top-tier modern thoroughbred racehorses, such as the vast majority of Kentucky Derby contenders. So most of the horses racing in the Kentucky Derby are like related to each other.
Are they all male horses that race?
That's a good question.
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, look that up. That's interesting. But then I was like, yo, is every single horse related to Secretariat?
That sounds a lot of incenny.
Which is actually not true. However, the global racehorse population is not exclusively descended from him. But he does have 663 registered fouls.
That's wild. Oh, no horses can race at any gender. Wow. Very gender fluid racing.
Love it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they kept it around, because it's so like progressive in that way. how multiple genders can race each other.
Oh, and then to like for like start racing, usually your horse is 3 years old. They'd be babies.
They'd be babies.
They'd be babies. It doesn't seem like enough. But then like how old is like a 3-year-old in like a horse?
Oh, and horse years, yeah. Like if you do it the same as dogs, what do you do, like 3 times 7?
True.
So like 21.
And speaking of like wild horses and like these horses that are in captivity, I'm gonna call them in captivity. But like, okay, so he died. The Secretarius died at like 19 years old or 20, and he was like fully healthy, but then he had like an incurable hoof disease, and they had to put him down. But apparently, like, horses can live up to, like, 55, 60. Like, I did not know that.
Wow. Yeah,
and, like,
I didn't know that
the oldest
either.
horse was, like, 85 to record or something.
Get it. Aw.
Yeah.
I think horses are awesome.
No, I do
They're
too.
so smart, and they're just, like, beautiful.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Did you ever go horseback riding?
I did once.
I know.
And
should we admit that we went horseback riding? Because we just went on this tangent about wild horses.
I struggle to think if it's evil, because I just don't think, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry, we jumped around about the horse, but
yeah.
I think you could take it to the 1975 when they special winterized an inner dirt track, and this allowed New York racing to continue through the cold winter months. And the Aqueduct is actually the only New York winter racing racetrack. So while all the other
not anymore.
I know. No racing in the winter.
Just for the last month.
I wonder if Belmont is gonna have a winter track in the anticipation that they knew Aqueduct was closing.
Maybe they'll become.
Yeah.
Interesting. I would check out Belmont. You're like, I'm done with the horse racing.
We didn't even get to our experience yet. We will in a second. But also in the 70s, my aunt worked at the Aqueduct. She was 14 years old when she started working at the Aqueduct.
What was her position?
She cleaned tables. She worked at concessions. She said she loved it. She had a blast. She said she made minimum wage, which was probably like $3 at the time. I have no idea. But she said she had a lot of, she said she had the best time.
That's awesome.
And then apparently my mom worked there too the next summer. So she worked there one summer, and then she brought my mom. She put a bunch of people onto the Aqueduct.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Did they take the train there? Did they take the A train?
They didn't. They took the bus. Your favorite bus.
Oh, the 53?
Yeah.
Like it. Love it. Very cool.
Yeah, they didn't take the A train. They didn't live anywhere close to the A train.
I know. That's so funny. I love when you could connect like our own history or our family history to some of the places that we're checking
I tried
out.
to get a voice memo from her. She wasn't ready, and then I wasn't ready.
I know.
But,
Every now and then, so like with the voice memos, like some people are just like so good with it, like they just let it spew out, and then other people are like, I don't know what story to tell. I don't know what to say.
I'll like just say what you just told me like 5 seconds ago.
Yes, you loved it. But yeah, okay, bringing it to the 80s, this is when they unveiled one of the largest restaurants in New York City. It was a multi-tiered equestrious.
Is that what is up the stairs that you were saying is a really nice area? That's where that restaurant was. Is it still there, or is it now just like an open, like a private space?
I think it's more of like a catering
remember when
place.
we went there, they had like a private party, but they do catering there, obviously, because there's like tables.
Yeah, when I went, it was pretty empty, but it looked like people were getting served, and there was like kind of food vendors who were serving them. So it wasn't like a formal restaurant. I don't think, but there is still some service there. Unless they're public service, unless there's a party, and then you could do private parties there. Like when we were there, Local 3 was having this like major kind of event.
Are you jealous that you didn't close the place down and have a birthday party there?
Wait, what?
Are you jealous that like you never planned a birthday party there and closed it down?
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have my wedding there.
16. Oh, you should have your wedding.
That would have been great. Missed opportunities. I mean,
everybody at your wedding, everyone at your wedding, like who was gonna give you a gift, just like betted that money, and they're like, whatever I end up with, that's what you're getting. Even if they won, you got that money. Would you do that?
Nah, just give me the card. You bet with your own money, not my gift.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
Fair enough. And then just bringing it to the 90s, we had Pope John Paul II had a major mass there.
Yeah.
75,000 people went and prayed.
I don't think we mentioned this, but it seats like 25,000 people, I think, in these rinkety-dink seats, but it holds about like 45,000 people. I guess like because there's the whole indoor area. How was there 75,000 people watching this guy do whatever he does? I don't know.
I don't know. That first floor, there's not seats. It's like standing.
Yeah,
down.
but like I think it's 40,000 like capacity.
Huh. Maybe they put people on the track.
Oh.
Like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what they claim. 75,000 people were there.
Well, it's so weird because when you're watching the track, like when you're watching the races.
Well, there's 3 tracks.
There's 3 tracks, but I'm just saying like you're like what you're looking at is a track, right?
Yeah.
And then I was just like looking at images of it from above, like a drone. It's huge.
Massive.
Like it's a massive racetrack.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess racetracks are big in general, but like,
well,
you don't realize like you're in the middle of Queens here, you know, and there's like this just random horse racetrack.
I know, and I think that's like in some ways
like, it's like a football field.
It's prime real estate, and I just wonder what they're gonna build over it. Apartment, something. I don't know.
Yeah,
did you
I did
look
research.
into? Okay, so you kind of know.
Yeah.
Wow, we're just gonna keep stringing you guys along till you find out what's gonna happen next to it. But yeah, so then just kind of fast forwarding. 2011 is when they made a major change, and they included the Resorts World Casino, and they kind of renovated that area.
And I think that also kept it alive for as long as it did as well.
Yeah.
Like because we always wanted to do this since we started the podcast 4 years ago. And every year Diane was like, I think it's going to close this year. Remember? Like every year you're like, I think it's closing. I think it's closing. And I was fine because they're like, I think the resort kept it alive, or the casino kept it alive.
Yeah, it did. It did, definitely. Mm-hmm. And then in 2014, this kind of brings it back to what you said, how you drew like Secretariat at our high school's
I didn't draw
spare
hands.
day.
I drew like a
You're
horse.
part of control. No, don't sell yourself short, Mel. You drew Secretariat.
I didn't draw that horse. I just draw a horse.
All right. How do you know? Maybe it was Secretariat.
I didn't even know that was.
Regardless, the track hosted a series of artists who added color inside to the grandstand, and they made a bunch of racing-themed murals, many of them tied to some of the great horses that race there. One being Secretariat. It's a 60 by 80 foot rendering with his jockey Ron Turcotte, and it's on the east side of the grandstand, and it's become a landmark, and it's visible from the Belt Parkway. So if you've ever been driving along the Belt Parkway, saw that horse mural, that is Secretariat, and that was part of this 2014 adding color to the grandstand project. And that's what I have for the major stuff. I have some like fun facts at the end, but
yeah, I'll do one fun fact and you could do one.
Okay, cool.
So in 2021, Aqueduct became a huge COVID vaccination site, and I remember, I'm sure everybody did this only a couple of years ago. Everybody unless you were anti-vax, wanted to get the vaccine because it meant that you got to do a lot of things, because like you would show your vaccination card to like get into restaurants or whatever.
Yeah.
So we were always trying to like get our shots as soon as possible. And like I remember like looking just like Aqueduct, Javits Center, and Citi Field. Like those were like the 3 really big main ones.
Yeah.
And I'm just so funny that Aqueduct was one of them.
Which one did you go to?
I went to Javits.
You went to Javits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where did you go?
Remember,
You're like, yeah, I'm anti-vax. I'd be like, oh.
Well, I didn't go for a while.
I was there when you got
Yeah,
there.
I didn't go. I was like maybe like 7. I wanted to see how many people died from it, and then not a lot of people died, so that I got it done. Right, but I went to like a local pharmacy.
Yeah.
I got the J&J. I just
So
wanted one and done.
J&J.
One and done. I'm not coming back for a second.
I know, like that was the best I was gonna do. Yeah.
Listen, that's all I'm gonna do. So, I mean, I have 3 facts. I don't know which one.
Jump your first one.
All right, let's go as early as we can. So in 1968, there was a grandstand shootout at the Aqueduct. There was a dispute over a 20-year-old $2,000 loan, which escalated into a physical altercation and a gunshot inside an enclosed glass stairwell. And then the shot was mistaken for a firecracker. People thought that it was just like...
Sure.
Yeah, thought it was like...
Always. Mm-hmm.
And there was just like a massive panic, and after better And there was a rush
And
to
that was it.
escape, very similar to the Brooklyn
I was
Bridge
gonna
episode.
say, why do we keep doing these episodes where like there's just a general panic where there's a stampede?
Yeah, and then about 50 people were injured, no deaths.
Oh,
but
good,
there
okay.
was like a human stampede. Like people got freaked out, you know? People didn't remain calm. But then in 2020, fast forwarding it, 2 armed men, one of whom was an on-duty racetrack security guard, right?
Fine.
Pulled off a real-life movie heist at the track. They hid in a stairwell and ambushed track employees,
What were they stealing?
making off with more than $280,000 in cash.
From like the bets that were taken?
I guess it's just the cash that was in the space.
That was taken from the bets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there's a bunch of cash in there at any
No,
given
I
moment.
know. Yeah.
That was being
They're
transported.
just like robbing the workers on their way out. I'm like, how much money do these workers have on them?
So this money was getting transported to a day-end vault.
Okay,
so the
yeah.
security guard worker knew.
It was like someone like hijacking an armored car that was like just going to the bank from like a teller or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I can only imagine if this guy was an on-duty security guard, he was aware that at
Of the
any given
security
time,
protocols.
this money would get put to the vault at the end of the day. So he intercepted and stole it. The guard posed as a victim during the robbery, but federal investigators eventually uncovered the plot and convicted him in 2022. So he did not get away with it. The security guard.
You know what was one of my favorite movies growing up? Italian Job. Have you ever watched that?
No.
Where they had like the Fiats and they were like stole the okay, so
Seth
they
Green in
found
that one?
found money or like they had like this heist. Seth Green is in it.
Yeah,
and so it was
yeah.
like Marky Mark.
Okay, I just know like
Yeah.
the picture, like the poster, but I never watched it.
And then so like they steal the money and then they get betrayed by one of their own. And then they steal the money back from that guy who's betrayed. It's just a bunch of stealing, but like they just have like really cool like racetrack scenes and stuff.
Yeah. Fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of like was that moment. It was very much like a Hollywood
They didn't
heist.
get caught though.
They didn't get caught.
No. Yeah.
All right. And then the final thing I have is that very recently, in February of 2026, so just a couple months ago, Aqueduct experienced a wild betting anomaly when a high-stakes computer-assisted wagering account dropped a massive $206,000 on
206,000. Okay.
on 3 different long shot bets right before the post. So like,
I don't get it.
so you know how like when we went, there's the odds and
And
like
the odds change depending on
how much money is put on everyone.
Okay, yeah,
right?
uh-huh.
And now like the odds are on how good the race the horse is, right? So like basically they put $206,000 on long shot bets, like horses that had no chances. No
Who did?
chance
Some
of winning.
random guy did?
Some computer assisted wagering account.
Oh.
So almost
I didn't
like
know
an
that.
AI like
AI,
generated gambling computer program put it on horses that like had no chances of winning.
And then the horse won.
I don't think so.
Oh.
But putting the money on these long shot bets like messed all the
Other
odds
odds up of the other horses.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And so it, because of the sheer volume of money, it caused wild skewed odds, resulting in one of the craziest single race betting upsets in recent track history. So it really just kind of messed up the usual like status quo. It reminded me of like, you know, the GameStop, like the GameStop
the guy,
stock thing, and how like they kind of just did something like that. Like they put a bunch of money where there wasn't value, which ended up like messing up all of the odds everywhere. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
It's come recent history.
And then my last fun fact is that there's a couple of times where the races were canceled, and I think 2 of them were really funny. In 2025, one of the multiple races were canceled because there was an auto and bike show at the casino, and they were blasting music so loud that it was unsafe for the horses to race. So they canceled the races. That was 2025.
Oh, that's crazy.
And then in 2026, just this year, because everyone who lived in New York knew we had a crazy winter, due to extreme cold weather, they closed the races because, again, it was unsafe for the horses.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're looking out for them a little bit.
Yeah. But I know you asked me before we get into our experience, what is going to become of the aqueduct?
Yes.
So there actually is an aqueduct community master plan to talk about and to decide what's going to happen. A lot of it is now might be low income housing and building communities that focus around workers that work at the casino, because it is such a big influence of people working there,
Right, and
that
now
they
with-
want low income housing to kind of like create a more community base down there, kind of like what used to be here in the past. Like we did College Point, where the Poppenhusen like created I think he had like that one factory, I forgot what factory he did, but he like created a community for his workers. Steinway did the same thing, like back in the day of like how we build communities around work centers that we have.
Yeah,
and like that would be positive, I think
so. I mean, I also think that in general though, people do have a little bit of fear with creating communities in such close proximity to gambling facilities.
I wonder why.
Like if you don't, like if you didn't hear this, they were going to put casinos over in Coney Island, but the community really like spoke up and was like, don't do this, you know what I mean?
Isn't that what's happening in City Field?
Yeah.
I was like, didn't we complain about this like a couple of episodes ago?
Well, I mean,
we're anti-casino.
But it's already there at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So like I do understand what they're saying in terms of like creating housing for employees there. So I get that. And then also now that table games are now allowed there. So I would say last month was
you
the
have
first
like
time.
more extreme staffing like
Right, it's not just computer games. It's like live betting games, and so.
And then you have like the servers that work there.
Which,
now.
by the way, $50 minimums. That's wild.
I wouldn't go there.
That's wild. You want to lose $200 in 20 minutes? Go and play $50 minimum craps. Wild.
All right, so we went to the Aqueduct a few weeks ago.
I went twice, actually.
Somehow it is like you're in an airport. It reminds me of an airport, and it also reminds me of like a roller rink at this, like combined.
Yeah. And a bus station.
And a bus station, all into one, you know?
Yeah.
And the chairs are very rinkety. They had a whole layer of pollen and dirt on each of them. We should have brought
just
wipes.
fabulous?
A lot of them were broken. They had a lot of characters. We saw like 3 fights.
Yes, there was some arguing going on about something, but it de-escalated pretty quickly. I won some money. That was fun.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm just putting $5 bets on every race and then just picking a random horse.
Yeah,
and
the way we did it.
I won the first horse race.
Yes.
But because I only put $5 on it, and because we just discussed how the odds of the horses go up and down, my odds of my horse winning were like 5 to 9. So like I only got like $2.
Yeah, you like picked a favorite.
Yeah.
So like they won. Whereas like I picked I think I picked a horse that had like
a low
7 to 1 odds
odd.
or 1 to 7, whatever way you should do it. So I ended up
Yeah.
winning like 7 times the amount of money I put down.
Yeah.
And I ended up winning like $75. It was like very fun. And
Yes.
his name was like, it was super power.
Superpower.
Yeah. And we just picked the horse that like we liked the name.
Yeah, mine was like Sunshine State or something like that. Like I don't remember.
Support Florida.
But it was I was not going to say it's cute. I don't want to use that word. It wasn't cute. It was fun. We had a Bud Light and
some Bud Light.
just chilling. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the worst time in the world, but it is very depressing. Like there are a lot of there was women there. That's not what I'm saying. And I didn't feel unsafe there.
No.
I'm just saying that there was like a lot of male men. There were a lot of male men. No,
Not
there
to be
was
confused with female men.
There were a lot
Male
of men
UPS
that
workers.
just like you kind of just like felt bad for them because they just like they're just stuck in this world of like wanting to win money really quickly and then losing money really quickly, and like it just was very depressing.
It felt very much like a lot of the men were like comfortable there, like this is what they do every day. Like anytime it's open, like this is what they do, that's what they do. And like part of you could be upset about it, but like if this is what follow your bliss, if this is what makes them happy.
That's not bliss. And like I mean I'm not really I don't really have a big relationship with like 3 of my uncles, and they were like the black sheep of the family. All 3 of them never got married, and then when they were younger, because they were first generation, they were born in Italy, came here.
Okay.
And when they they got stuck in the aqueduct world gambling, and they had big gambling problems. It isolated them from their family. They stole from their family. And I think like that really does, it is an issue, and it's a really big problem. And I'm thinking about 95% of those men there had those same kind of issues that like dealt with his family.
You could only imagine that they do have some sort of gambling addiction of some type if you're there all the time, you know? But I don't know. Where are they going to go now?
I don't know. Go get a job. Workforce? I don't know. I don't know. Like, add to society?
But in the same light of this sort of like the kind of characters that frequent the aqueduct, I do have a little bit of a story.
Oh, yeah.
I do have a little bit of a story. So I'm going to try and say this as quickly as possible. But it is very detailed and nuanced if I have to warn you, okay?
I'll try and reel you in.
Yeah. So just work with me here. Let me cook and just like, know that it's going to be a good story. So I actually went there, talking about addicted. No, I went there twice in a row. I went there the Saturday before we went. And I kind of did it because like it was my husband's birthday, and he was like, oh, let's just have a family outing. It's going to close soon. Like, let's do it. So we went, and at one point it was just my husband, his brother and his dad were just like hanging out, and the rest of us had gone somewhere else, right? And we come back to this dramatic story of the three of them like cracking up and freaking out. And so while we weren't there, my father-in-law is telling them this story, and he was like, oh, there was this guy, he's like a legend in this place. He would be here all the time.
A legend at the aqueduct.
Yeah, an aqueduct legend, but also a Bronx, like Throgs Neck legend, right? Okay. And like this guy named Mousy, right? He would come here all the time, and there's actually this story that like one time he was trying to evade the FBI, and he went to avoid the FBI, jumped over like the gate and run through the racetrack to avoid getting captured by the FBI.
Not during a race.
I hope not. I don't think so. And so, like...
He like, passes the fit, and then Mousy wins!
Mousy wins the race!
And I was like, I didn't even have that on my odds.
What were the odds of that? Some random person did a write-in.
Write-in, Mousy.
And they're like, I knew he would win. And so, of course, like, my husband and my brother-in-law are just like, yeah, right. This is ridiculous. This is the most Fugazi story I've ever heard. And my father-in-law is just like, nah, I'm telling you, it's legend. It's legendary. Fast forward like 3 minutes later, and just to kind of let you guys know, the people who are betting there, they're not only betting on the races that are going on at Aqueduct. They're betting on every race that's going on across the United States of America. So like any off time. Yeah.
So then that was also to my point of like why it looks like an airport. So like when you're inside, there's all these like chairs like you're in an airport, like how you're like in the waiting area.
Yes.
But there's also TVs everywhere showing the other races that are happening around the world that they're betting on.
Right.
But it's
so
like
you're waiting for their gate.
You're waiting for your gate. Right.
So that's just the vibe of this place.
It's like purgatory in that place.
Right. And so, like, when there's not a race going on, they're staring at the screen to see who won the race over somewhere else, right? So this guy comes in and is like, does anyone have any picks for San Bernardino? Any picks? Basically saying, like, does anyone know a hot horse there that I should put my money on? And he's just kind of asking random groups. And my father-in-law looks at him and he goes, hey, are you related to Mousy? Like, you look so much like this guy Mousy I know. And he's like, related, I am Mousy. And my brother-in-law and my husband are like, what? And so my brother-in-law goes, hey, is it true that you ran through the track once to like avoid the FBI? And he's like, no. That was my Uncle Louie. That wasn't me. And so like the whole time they're just like, is this real life? And of course I missed the whole thing because I was like, I don't know, online to get a Bud Light or something. And we come back and they're just like freaking out. So you
never saw Mousy?
No, I'm just going off of their story. But I believed it because they seemed like just
I wonder if Mousy worked with my Aunt Maria at the Aqueduct. Maybe he's been there his whole life.
Maybe, like when I say the reason why the FBI went there is because they tracked down that like this guy's always at the Aqueduct. Yeah. So like it's just kind of crazy. It just kind of gives you a climate at like another kind of crazy like legend. Urban legend.
Interesting people at the Aqueduct for sure.
Very interesting. I mean, I kind of want to go one more time. It closes at June 28th. Probably won't make it.
Good.
But
I'm good.
I do, like, I'm interested because I actually am going to go to Saratoga this summer. I'm interested to go to, like, a place that's, like, a little more elegant. Like, more like Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, that's not the Aqueduct. You're talking about Saratoga, right? Like,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like, I want to go one more time to the most elegant place in Queens, the Aqueduct.
Well, the whole time, like, when we were getting ready to go, I was telling my husband, like, oh, I want to wear a sun hat and, like, have a little camisole and blah, blah. And he's like, that is not
Although,
the vibe.
when we went, you got really dressed up. You were in, like, this, like, nice outfit.
I
And,
did.
and I was, like, in, like, just, like, jeans and like, a black tee. And I'm like, I'm not trying to... what's it called? I'm not trying to stand out at the Aqueduct.
You understood the assignment. Yeah. I was trying to add an elegance that maybe wasn't there. But...
No.
You know, I did want to have my, what was it? What's her name? Eliza Doolittle moment, My Fair Lady with the hat and the thing. So
do that at Saratoga. They do that there.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get a hat for that.
Yeah, people get dressed up there.
Yeah, but I just felt like when we were there and doing the research, it felt really cool to be, even at the end, to be at such a historic place before it closed down, regardless of its, like, current state and, like, maybe some of the more negative connotations. I just think it's very cool to be like, I was at this place that opened up in the late 1800s and is closing now in 2026, and, like, we were there.
Yeah.
You're like, good riddance.
I am. Good riddance. Demolish it. I want them to, like, blow it up.
You should create an initiative for people, like, because now there's going to be all these people with so much extra time. And, like, maybe you could create, like I don't know, some sort of thing for them to do, to be productive with their gambling skills.
I am not... No, that's not on me. That's not on me to help these people.
All right. It just seems like you felt very strongly about it. You're like, I'm not dying on that hill.
No.
Not dying on that hill. But...
There's a lot of other people I would help before I help those people.
All right. Well, to anyone who's listening, if you have any interest in going before it closes, you have a month. There's some closing ceremonies on June 27th and 28th.
Yeah, if you want to, you should hit those up.
Yeah, but if you don't want to go, then don't go.
Simple as that.
But I hope you enjoyed our episode.
Yeah.
Hope you learned some new things. And always, thanks for listening.
Is there, like, a thing that they say at the races? Like,
sure.
Okay, that's it.
On your mark, get
set, go. Bye.
Bye.